Oh, I lied. It's Top Esports that have swaps that their first pick red side. So we
Yeah.
just had a swap. It's going to be first pick Rumble. As, yeah, it is 369. Rumble coming through for game 3. You have the options of Scion up. You have the options of Trundle up if a Scion does come through. That would signify to me maybe why they're getting rid of the Nocturne, because they want to open Rumble. And then if it is a Scion, I mean, they would want to go Trundle. And Nocturne is good in the Trundle. That's where my head's at right now. But I see a Rumble on my screen. I'm thinking that Xiaoxu could go for a Kasate top. At the moment, though, they're going to lock in that Ambessa and maybe hold that as a flex. We'll find out.
Yeah, definitely still available to go towards JunJia in the jungle if they deem it a better option for themselves. JDG don't have, I believe, too many games on Ambessa in the jungle. For the
They
most
have
part,
none so far. I expect every team to be able to
Xiaoxu.
play it, though, yeah.
Yeah. And here's Gala on the Aphelios. So we talked about bot lane picks. It's another one that JiaQi has had a good experience on, and another one that has been taken away from him at this point.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious if JiaQi ends up going for Misfortune here, which is his most played. Again, this is something where we've kind of looked at that 2v2 and said they've struggled a bit. So I think taking a winning 2v2 or something where JiaQi and Fengyue are a little bit more comfortable is key. As Alistar is no longer in the series. He was played last game, so it's going to be Sivir Nautilus locked down early. Depth charge is nice setup to help with the equalizer. It's going to be pressure into Aphelios, but I mean, it dissuades the Lulu Aphelios pairing, but it's still, I think, really encouraging. Like, you could pick Braum here, and I feel like you have a double winning bot lane for Gala Vampire.
I mean, I was going to say Thresh.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Something that Vampire definitely has a good experience on.
That's nice.
A classic 2v2 down the bottom lane, and that makes a lot of sense here.
This makes more sense than the Braum because it gives you a way to play out an equalizer depth charge as well. So I like this for Gala and Vampire, as they've been really, really solid so far. Really good 2 games from them. As
look what's left here, Cubby. It's the mid jungles. We've talked about these all series long, all day long here on this show. And now JunJia and HongQ. We'll see how far down the tier list goes. I mean, we talked about junglers that have already been taken off the table. The next option, specifically for guys like NaiYou, who is more of a carry player, are things like the Viego, the Kianas, etc. Even a Jace could potentially get locked in at this point.
TF could be a tip-off towards the Kiana. That's actually it. I was going to say, I think JDG or Top Esports should look for ways to protect Rumble on the side or protect Sivir, because they're going to need time for this game. So I think taking away a champion like TF that can really pair well with Aphelios in terms of supporting. It's a champ that HongQ plays for sure, and I don't think Creme as much. So I actually like that ban. As the 2 junglers that were hovered but not drafted are banned out from JDG. So they
like,
took the bait.
I'm gonna write that. Top is like writing that down. Yeah, okay, we're gonna ban this one.
They took the bait.
Thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of 5D chess potentially being played in this pick ban.
Yeah, no
in more
Ari.
ways than one.
I like the Ari ban too. Again, I think that hunting Rumble in side lanes is a real way to play the mid game here for JDG, or just to play into Rumble. This is oftentimes the champ you see early picked, but they have the opportunity now. If they want to have counter mid, they can just show their jungler now and try to counter mid. And if you're looking for Sejuani, Viego ban doesn't make quite as much sense to me, but the Trundle ban makes a lot of sense if you want to play a Sejuani. And I think this still gives you a way to hunt in the mid game. Main engage with Thresh, what you want. Thresh can outplay a secondary engage. Glacial Prison is a way that you can, set up Ambessa to go in. I think it still gives you some real power with the permafrost when it comes to hunting Rumble and looking to pressure and snowball this game quickly, which is really, for me, what JDG is looking to do. That's not getting picked.
These final lock-ins are going to be here. I was going to say, if this is Ninjas in Pajamas playing tomorrow, this would make a little bit more sense because Care does have that pocket casted in, but it will
We're not blinding
casted
Cassidy.
Creme.
Yeah, we're not blinding Cassidy. Not this year. Yone for Creme. Again, you have a Rumble Yone comp in the top side. Just going to pair your best fighting jungler that you can take at this point. Sivir is going to be your late game scaling. I don't like how this plays in the JDG. I mean, Skarner's a decent take here. It's a matchup that I think Sejuani is still kind of comfortable in. Like when Skarner was filthy Imba OP status.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, this makes more sense.
So
Maokai got buffed this patch.
Yeah, got a little bit of a clear buff, and so
Now,
should be able to
this
get
should
around
be
the
the
jungle
pick.
a little bit faster. I was going to say you would typically go with like a Yone with the Sejuani, but Sylas thematically answers that while also doing a decent amount of magic damage. And as soon as you see the Maokai also get locked in on the other side, that's a great ultimate to steal over the hijack.
So I like Maokai on this patch. I think that he got buffed. He's already in a good spot, and it's playoffs. So everyone's just going to figure out that Maokai is good again. I really like the Sylas pickup, and I love how Sylas plays into this comp. You have Depth Charge to grab. You have Nature's Grasp to pick up. You have an Equalizer to take. And you counter Yone in the mid lane, and you're further empowered in that counter matchup already with the Sejuani on your team. So I think the ability for JDG to play quickly in this game and to beat top esports before, you know, they get to the Yone point of the game, your 2-3 items in kind of critical mass, or the Sivir point where you're 3 items in your critical mass. I like this game a lot for JDG. I think that having Sejuani in these short range games where we've seen them play better faster so far in this series, Grapes. They've been the better early game team. This feels like a draft where they're better set up for the early game, again, which was a real theme in their last draft they had too.
And JunJia has 2 great soul lanes to play around in the Ambessa and the Sylas specifically. If they can get those soul laners rolling, it won't really matter what happens down in the bottom lane, how far they scale. That's kind of a push at this point. Yeah. JDG's composition, once again, looks very strong, and you got to worry for what top esports can handle it and how much of it they can carry in the early game.
I mean, it's still like top. They get going. You have Maokai, Nautilus to set up, Rumble, Yone. This sounds like a formula of a god comp from most of last year, right? If you're thinking about how people were playing the game, how they set up, but man, Sejuani, that tech, bring the 2 melee solo lanes to try and break the enemy's solo lanes. Aphelios Thresh is going to win in isolation against the Sivir too. So I think it makes a lot of sense to try and play towards the top side, play towards these melee solo lanes, and see if you can convert on the lead that you drafted for.
Game number 3, starting off with a bang already as immediately loading in. Creme has to flash away. Vampire with the death sentence, not a good omen here for top esports in this one.
Cute setup there. Off of HongQ hitting it, and Vampire showing over the wall. That is definitely a scripted level 1 with Sylas on your team. As Maokai was going to go for, looks like a late ward, going to be a little bit short to find the Raptors. But still, nice start there for JDG. You're playing a flashless, mid, going against a Sejuani Sylas. That is something that JDG must revisit. While HongQ's flash is down, or while Creme's flash is down. I'll be very disappointed if they don't visit the lane in that time.
Yeah, I mean, mid lane certainly in a very good spot at this point for HongQ, and we'll see what JunJia is able to do as well. Let's talk about these mid laners for a second here, Cubby. We had a little bit of a graphic of how these guys performed last season, but even in terms of the champions that they're playing right now, the Yone, the Sylas, these are guys that have come up and were explosive players as younger, prospects, and they've really had a good opportunity, getting called up to higher level teams. Whether it's Creme here on top esports and now HongQ getting the call into JDG, a roster that they think can contend for it.
Yeah, honestly, for HongQ too, kind of a big takeaway pick for him going into Creme for this matchup. But 2 players that we saw it firsthand last year. Creme made a big splash in Split 1, wasn't able to really follow up the rest of his year with that kind of splash, whereas HongQ, he had a really big tournament and started making a name for himself quite early, and HongQ took off with that. As that was a bit of wasted time from JunJia.
Hey, you wanted a look, you got a look. Was it a good look? No. But still, opportunities. That Flash Climber still available here for Creme, as it looks like JunJia will just complete the bottom side jungle at this point. Fengyue very aggressive with his dredge lines at this point, able to chunk Vampire down about half HP. Gala forced to burn the Ghost, as well as that heal being used by the Thresh. So top esports trying to keep things volatile at this stage in the game.
Yeah, and because of how the clears went early, and Sejuani taking that pit stop mid, should be Maokai getting ownership over the first crab. We will see if JunJia sticks his head into the Raptor pit of the Maokai at all. Maokai did start Raptors, and as Maokai, you really want to ramp up your jungle. Getting to, I mean, the first item breakpoint's big, but man, if you get the 2 items, it is huge.
NaiYou. Oh, wants to double crab.
That's a split call. That's a split call kind of from JDG.
JunJia wanted to fight. HongQ didn't. He's going to TP back in, but now it's going to be both the junglers skirmishing around this crab. 369 has pushed. He'll be able to get there first.
That is a mistake from JDG. I mean, they could have taken the mid fight in the 2v2. They don't. It was a flash with Yone too. And now the crab gets lost because 369 has priority in top lane. So that's a really, really good start for NaiYou. And I mean, if I have to talk about the best performing player this series so far from top esports across the first 2 games, is it NaiYou? I feel like from game 1, it definitely was. And NaiYou's the one who I've seen, you know, making a couple positive plays or at least trying to get incremental leads against his opposition. And JunJia, I feel like, has made a couple mistakes in this series. Because the rest of JDG has kind of been getting the best of top esports. I think NaiYou's given them the best fighting chance so far.
And to his credit, really wasn't able to do anything in game 2 on the Wukong, right? So
yeah,
he maybe had 1 play or so, but that was more of a comp diff. And already having a good play here, might have an opportunity on the top side of the map too. Xiaoxu doesn't know this is happening.
Yeah, I think he's dead. There's no 6 to get out, even a flash now. I mean, this is well set up by NaiYou.
Yeah, there's Twisted Advance. There is the burn. First blood. Over to NaiYou, the reverse caster curse. Talk good about him, does something good.
I mean, he just had the dream start as Maokai. You are right now, you got both crabs. You cleared out your 2 camps. You rotated out early. You see the enemy jungler who is yet to base. Stalling time on a ward. This is a great start and setup for NaiYou. They're going to try and look mid. It is a 6 difference for HongQ, but NaiYou should be able to deter this. Oh, they're going to go.
Yeah, they're going for a full dive here.
Anyway,
they have the Sejuani
permafrost
stack, but the Fate Seal comes out. Creme sends both of them back in. That's HongQ going down. NaiYou going to follow immediately with a flash of his own, because he knows that JunJia's on the wrong side of the map already. Uses the blast cone to get away. Will it be an execute? Will it be an escape back? It looks like JunJia's going to be able to live unless NaiYou continues the hunt.
That is...
Spot him right here, and he has the HP advantage at this point. JunJia now just looking for an execute. Might be able to get it. Will NaiYou be able to land anything? Looks like no. So JunJia just going to give over the experience here to the Maokai, but that is an advantage nonetheless.
Port the minion, you know, stole the kill. No. I don't really know what the idea there was for JDG. Like, that's the timer you want to punish with Creme. I don't know if he was flashless at the time even. That was close. Creme played that so damn well to E forward and get 6 and then send it back. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get a replay of that, but that was so nice from Creme. Just good presence of mind to realize, what creep do I get 6 off of? Can I do anything off of it? Made the best use of that he could.
Taking a look here, yeah. Just about to get 6. He uses the Soul Unbound, I think, forward to finish off this minion, and then unlocks the ulti at just the right time.
Yeah, I mean, even the Q setup from the Bramble Smash afterwards is good. Meanwhile, bot, Fengyue has to burn the flash to get over the body block from Vampire. Well played by him. Avoids the gank.
Top Esports, for the first time this series, having an advantage in the early game. And guess what? It comes through the mid jungle on their side. JunJia and HongQ, all this synergy together. It's actually NaiYou and Creme having the upper hand, at least for now. Of course, time will tell how the remainder of this will go. But Top Esports in a pretty good spot right now.
I'm really impressed with how early Top was able to break what JDG wants to do. This is really going to slow down JDG throughout this game, because the matchup only gets better for Maokai going into Sejuani. And I think now that people kind of figured out this phase rush Maokai, it just overall is a much better matchup now. As, my God, I mean, NaiYou has gotten everything in this game so far. And I mean, what a debut, I guess. It's the second time we've seen him in LPL playoffs, the first time with Top Esports. But I think for fans at home, this guy was an LDL champion, was an MVP of the league in the LDL. And to really see him step up and play like this with the team, Top Esports, I mean, these guys are fighting to keep spots and to play on this team, I think, moving forward in future splits with JiaQi up, hopefully. And NaiYou, I feel like, has been a big improvement in at least the second round robin of the regular season. And now I think we've been seeing that so far in this series, as well as, again, I think probably the strongest performer for his team.
Yeah, I mean, we remember NaiYou from his early stages on these Group Nirvana teams and playing on NIP, then and LGD,
Yeah.
and on a top-level team like this, the stakes, the expectation is slightly different. And we have gotten criticisms of NaiYou's game, and it looks like JunJia is going to have some answer towards it as he goes for a dive on the bottom side. Grub's taken, but it will come at the cost of some kills going over in the bottom lane. Gala gets the kill onto JiaQi. They're going to look for Fengyue on the redive as well. There's the Glacial Prison at perfect timing, and that is the answer that JDG desperately needed.
So the first hook that you saw Vampire throw in the sequence, it was before JunJia was in lane. It missed the Nautilus. It baited the spell shield out of JiaQi. That really helped enable the dive that they were able to pull off on the JiaQi, because Vampire got to operate that there wasn't a spell shield from the Sivir in the scenario, and it allowed for him to really easily chain his abilities with the team. Executed really cleanly by JDG as they get 2 kills and try to get themselves back into this game.
The gold swung back in favor of JD Gaming, but Top Esports able to match by taking both objectives on the top and the bottom side. They get First Dragon and all 3 of the grubs. HongQ throws out that Nature's Grasp just because he had to use it at some point. Heads back towards his side of the map. And we've hit a bit of an interlude at this point. Not a ton happening across the map. Waiting to see what each team wants to do. And I feel like both teams comfortable with scaling at this point.
For me, it's I think Top really comfortable with this game state. I get concerned for JDG if this game gets like past 20 minutes on even footing. They could make some plays. Creme has flash, has ult, so nothing more will get committed from JunJia.
That top lane is going good here for 369. Xiaoxu taking low. Will get bursted down about 200 HP. Pops the biscuit and able to stay alive.
JunJia may be trying to interact with this solo lane too, but 369, his spider senses are tingling. Knows that he has nothing left in the kit, so he's playing a little bit further back on these waves. We're gonna have NaiYou covering him in a sec. And will be enough to make sure that Xiaoxu can't connect on a play. With JunJia, who I mean, we've seen him make attempts, try and get active on this this top side of the map for both his mid laner and his top laner. Hasn't been able to do so really.
I mean, that was the formula that we delivered in game number 3 before this one started, and not a lot has been happening. And you know, in a way, Top Esports see that this is a very clear game plan on JDG's side. Like, we're able to figure it out. They definitely are able to figure it out, and so they've been playing pretty safe. 369 specifically, not going too far forward, using the ulti to burst out Xiaoxu and head on back without doing anything more afterwards. Dueling in the mid lane. Creme's able to stay alive there. Get down to the bottom side to change his focus.
I think we all just saw JunJia wiggle his tail, whether it's on the ward or in the lane. I think he showed the minions too. Again, after that double kill, Gala has a pretty decent lead. Has a Cole that's about to pop. And does have a BF sword in inventory, which looks to be working towards, I'm gonna assume, Yuntals or a Storm Razor. As NaiYou gets the little ones, not the big ones. Now is close to evolving that Smite again, which could be important if Drake ends up being the next contest here in 2 minutes. But yeah, Gala's gonna base. He does get the Storm Razor, Grapes. And the slowest of the 3 games we've had so far, but honestly, if you're a Top Esports fan, that's probably good news.
Yeah, because when games have been going fast, that's what JDG wants to do.
Oh,
Looks like they want to speed things up a little bit, though, in the bottom lane. As Fengyue already had used the dredge line, uses one more onto the wall, able to flash away. Will that be enough distance? It looks like it has, and it will be enough for a potential re-engage with this Maokai on the way. Hook goes wide. There comes the dredge line back in, and Vampire now going to be in trouble. Gets tagged by the last little kitty cat. Getting rooted up. Will it be for long enough? Twisted advance forward, and JiaQi gets the kill. Moonlight Vigil does come out, but the Infernum is not enough to take Nautilus down. Fengyue lives through it all, but we'll see if JDG have a response on the top side. Glacial Prison goes wide, but it should still be enough for 369 to drop.
All right, that was not the best Sejuani R, but it was a good play. Coming out from top, I really like the bait from Fengyue. I
They're
thought
going
he
again.
messed up the second one.
Do they have damage at this point? They do, potentially. Gala gets one. Will he have a second? No. NaiYou will end up surviving. 2 desperately needed kills for JiaQi and the top esports bottom lane.
I just think that's really, really well played again by NaiYou and syncing up with Fengyue as well. I know the Nautilus fell, but that bait that Fengyue was kind of making, like, hey, NaiYou's in the area, you don't know yet. I know, we're going to try and bait him in. That was a really good setup.
Yone ulti. Creme gonna flash away, fate sealed, just in time.
All right, he lives that one as his support comes in and helps, but I really, really like the setup, the attempt again from the first time around that we saw from Fengyue and NaiYou, and I just really like how NaiYou has played this map. His ability to find the Sejuani and to kind of, like, he's kept good tabs on JunJia. I feel like they've been aware of where the Sejuani has been for most of the game. And that, like, even enables plays like that on the bot side, because, of course, that happens after JunJia shows. And yeah, it's a positive play for JDG, but NaiYou able to answer elsewhere and keep this matchup in his favor as the Maokai.
We're really duking it out here. I mean, this is like the textbook mid lane matchup where there's a lot of action going on. Maybe throwing a Kali in instead of the Yone. These guys definitely scrappy at this point in the game, forcing those resets. Speaking of, getting engaged here for Xiaoxu with the public execution. 369 is overheated, won't have a ton of spells left to use, but Xiaoxu does not hit that Q2, and 369 will just use the equalizer to clear the wave.
Yeah, you can see there's an XP lead, though, now for the Ambessa. So between that and Eclipse, we're at the break point where Ambessa's a lot happier in this bot lane lead. Gala got to reset it. Oh, we're flying an ad as the Drake's taken and the fight breaks out.
Glacial
Great spell
Prison
shield.
does not do much as the Moonlight Vigil goes wide. And it looks like those guys on the right of our screen did a little bit more fighting than the guys on the left.
Great spell shield coming out from JiaQi. Does get him out of that one. I believe I saw, oh, there's a cleanse there too. So there's a cleanse spell shield combo maybe to help out. Good take there from JiaQi. I think taking cleanse is underrated a lot on Sivir. Not by the pros, but...
Matrix Grass traded here. Mid lane tower almost able to go down, but it will be NaiYou that gets locked up, hooked in by Fengyue as well. Twisted event to keep alive, and he is healing up enough, but now it will be JunJia to end up getting that kill. Fengyue dropping HongQ, able to come online in the mid lane. Creme's gonna get this tower eventually, but how much will it cost TES? They really over-indexed for this one. Creme has a lethal tempo proc. He dashes over the soul unbound, should be able to take down Vampire, and that will be the sacrifice. The minions end up finishing him off. As we've gotten wild here over these last few minutes, Cubby.
Yeah, HongQ just didn't feel good going in there. He wasn't able to find the E in the back half of or both skirmishes, honestly. The first time he was positioned to kind of be gate kept out from being in and couldn't because he was low from the initial trade, but that other one, the 1v2 into Creme, I think Vampire might have overplayed his hand a little bit. The Thresh so far has been quite good mechanically. Yeah, I think Vampire's had a lot of good catches on the death sentences when the trade Aftershock. He's playing this pick out pretty well. That time around, though, mechanics were good, just didn't have enough gas in the tank. Try and get the kill as ult committed.
Got the flash away. Gala has red and blue at this point. Very strong team fighting. Guns Fengyue once again dashing back in with that dredge line, knowing that he's able to survive with the Aftershock. In comes Creme with the teleport. He has the Fate Sealed on cooldown, so unable to use it for a more full-fledged engage.
NaiYou can look top. And doesn't need the lane. Does mean a Rift Herald as HongQ might die because of that. I think HongQ's dead, yeah.
What happened here? I totally missed this. Tower. God.
Took 2 tower shots, Scrapes.
That was not worth it. Played for death and Herald.
Yeah.
Taking a look at this one.
I mean, so HongQ's already low in this scenario, and this is where the positive trades that came in earlier that NaiYou had in the mid-jungle matchup kind of cashed in later on, just with Creme having a big health bar advantage against HongQ here. He was trying to play outside the depth charge range, does end up eating it, was able to re-engage because he knows that Creme's going to snap back there later on, so he can use the low health bar he has to wrap up the support. And the later kill we saw Vampire, just not a... Him and HongQ didn't have enough gas in the tank to get through Creme, who does now find himself at 3-0 Grapes, and he's going to be quite the side lane threat with those 3 grubs once he finds himself there. I'm a bit curious as to why they haven't tried to put Yone there a little bit faster.
Mid still at this point. You'd think sending the Sivir mid would make sense now that the towers in there have gone down, but looks like they're going to wait on that. Maybe the showing of HongQ down in the bottom lane will be enough to convince these lane assignments to swap around a little bit. See 2 items now in the hands of Creme on this Yone. Picking up that Immortal Shield Bow for a little bit of extra survivability. And that's going to be very important against some of these burst-heavy champions on JDG's side. Here we go.
I remember saying it before Dragon.
Top lane. 369 has to flash away. JunJia has the Glacial Prison, going to eventually use it. Nicely chained crowd control. Should be enough. No! 369 able to survive. Here comes the chase. Will there be enough of it here? Xiaoxu, the Q2 misses. And there goes NaiYou all the way into a 1v3. Will be enough here for Fengyue to rejoin the fight. Depth charge goes in onto Xiaoxu.
Rumble STP.
And they've saved enough time for JiaQi to arrive. Another twisted advance goes forward, and Xiaoxu is going to not go down the dark passage. Everybody at the precipice of death, but none will fall.
I cannot believe the value that I just saw from Lantern. The first one dragged NaiYou in. The second one drags his own top laner out. And the whole time, I mean, 369, he somehow escapes the gank. Somehow there's no bot on my screen. And now Vampire flashes in. Okay, that's going to be a kill. NaiYou's the flash.
Vampire with impact top, mid, and bot everywhere. This guy has come to play, and it comes right at the 20-minute mark with the top esports jungler falling. You saw them think about it for just a quick second and then decided we cannot do this right now.
No, they're going to play in the top. I think that you just play for the camps here and play in the Dragon. Instead, they're going to play for, I thought it was Raptors Drake. Maybe they're TPing the dive?
Okay, here they go. Equalizer just to clear the wave out. Already the Zeeks has been popped by JunJia. He'll use the Lantern to get away, so HongQ just using that teleport.
Yeah, Creme soloing Drake.
Force him away, and Creme's just going to be able to take this one down. They're going to have to redive here for this to be worth it. There's the stolen away Equalizer. They're going to find the hook here on a 2-3-6-9, take him down, so 2 kills in response. Nicely done to save the play for JD Gaming.
Okay, I think what JD Gaming decided in that sequence is that Ocean Drake is not worth the soul this game. We're not playing for bot side because they killed the jungler instantly. It was too early to Baron. Instead, they play for the entire top side. Jungler's back up, but Vampire, another hook.
Vampire just finding everybody here at this point. NaiYou has a 4-man Bramble Smash, but not enough damage just yet. This teleport from Creme, just a little bit too far forward. JiaQi now has to flash away as well, but Gala will follow him to his demise. That is another kill picked up here for JD Gaming as TES are now dropping like flies. Xiaoxu takes down Creme, and the Baron surely will go over to JD this time.
I mean, Vampire deserves so much credit for what he did to NaiYou in the last 2-minute sequence, because NaiYou was having a great game, but he just got destroyed by Vampire. Between the Dark Passage that forced NaiYou to flash early, then it was the flash committed by Vampire that secured the first kill in the sequence, combined with Graviton Aphelios, the purple gun, to guarantee that on the Maokai, into the 3rd death sentence that gets Maokai off the map to make sure the Baron taken is clean. Vampire just owned NaiYou in the last sequence. Yeah. They're only going to show the 3rd one. But guys, the first Dark Passage that baited the Maokai so far in, and then the one they got initially, the pick kill they got in that top river to start the sequence before they got top outer turret down, was so good by Vampire to really create a sequence where they had tempo the entire time against top esports. It was late TPs in to respond. It was one member take Dragon while the rest of the team is responding. And top esports responds poorly as JDG come out on top in all scenarios.
So there they go. Snowball maybe has begun to roll. You see Gala at 5-1-2. The Infinity Edge has been picked up. The Baron buff still in their hands for another 2 minutes, but let game 1 be a cautionary tale. Cannot count top esports out despite this Baron buff being in their hands. They were able to come back in game 1. Will they be able to do so here around this bottom lane? We have dueling Nature's Grasp being sent. There comes the ulti for Creme. It doesn't find much as HongQ has popped the Hourglass. JunJia now has to dash away, and the Protoplasm Harness will keep him alive for now. Fengyue looking to chase. They want to continue this fight. They find the hook onto HongQ, but he's able to get lanterned away and make sure nobody goes down just yet. Moonlight Vigil will be enough to chunk Fengyue down and nearly kill him, but he will survive.
Oh, he wasn't able to pop it. I don't know if he didn't have the cooldown. Looks like he still had the gun. But man, it still ends up being more gold going into Xiaoxu's pockets on this Ambessa, which is good. Feels like there's been a lot more back and forth action than there has actually been blood coming through on my screen here, Grapes.
Yeah. Definitely one of those, I mean, we were saying this game felt slow, and then all of a sudden, movement after movement, like some 40 chess game that has opened up between these two teams.
It has. I mean, it really opened up off the back of Vampire, and I like as we've kind of seen Thresh reemerge this year, just given, like, you know, Aphelios is very strong, Jinx is strong, you're getting some responses or just some Thresh lanes being played. You're seeing, like, some games you want Thresh on the front line. That's kind of old Thresh. It's far more often now you want him on the back line to play for lanterns like this.
Prison comes out. Nice spell shield here from JiaQi, but will not get spell shielded from the depth charge into the public execution combo. That is 2 for nothing already underneath the bot tier 2, but 369 and Creme still have a lot of DPS, and Fengyue has the engage at his disposal. Gala has some great guns here for wave clearing and continuing the push with the Baron buff only available for 5 more seconds. Vampire does not find the death sentence, and the teleport is on its way, but Top Esports should be able to retreat for now. 20 seconds on JiaQi for respawning. Creme trying to take down that ward, but Xiaoxu not going to have any of it.
I actually respect that Ambessa, sorry, Vampire flashed forward and then didn't guess if 369 would dodge or not. He flashed forward and threw the hook forward and was like, I know you're a pro player.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that you don't dodge, you know? That is kind of level these guys play at sometimes, but no. For me, this has been a Vampire pog. I think Vampire has played so well this game. And again, with JunJia, you know, I was talking on my stream the other day about the Thresh Volderbear combo. I was played by FlyQuest, because it really helps you enable a frontliner when you play Thresh, where, you know, you have a Lantern that can enable a frontliner, and then you can also follow up on main engage. Like Glacial Prison or Permafrost Stun, your death sentence is coming in secondary off a stun target instead of trying to open the fight on a main target, which Thresh really needs to be secondary engaged to function. And I think that the way the Vampire has played this, he's found the main engage scenarios because of how good he is, but playing secondary engage has been really, really clutch.
See if he can engage here as a Nature's Grasp already coming out here for NaiYou, and he does take the dragon. That is soul point secured for top. And remember, there's no more Baron buff available for JD Gaming, so they don't have any extra stats. They're just going to have to walk away with this one without having any objective to their name.
Oh. They see the TP top now. They can look for a fight. Ooh, but they really didn't get a lot off that.
This is onto NaiYou. He will be able to flash away from that chain. Nicely done. But it will come at the cost of a crucial summoner spell on the Maokai.
Yeah, traded though. I mean, I'd say Flash more valuable on the Maokai than Silas, but that's if you're Top Esports, you're taking that every day of the week. You just got away with Dragon and nothing else lost, like, into a 5k gold deficit. You have a soul point. I think Ocean Soul is a bit of a state of mind, but in a game where it's so melee heavy, you can see scenarios where you might be able to back off, get some health back, and re-engage.
With how razor slim these margins have been in terms of people getting out with 1 HP, people surviving by just a little bit of health. Getting that extra regeneration for Top Esports could mean a lot, especially against a composition in JDG that does need to burst people down.
I'll take any advantage I can get. And yeah, I think as this game progresses, you know, the ability to burst people down for JDG, Xiaoxu's gotten pretty fed off these last few sequences, picking up kills, and sitting at 3 items now on Ambessa is, I mean, that's a death stance in the inventory. You're usually building armor going into Rumble when you're not worried about the Rumble, and that's definitely the scenario that we're in this game with Xiaoxu going into the team. So yeah, I'm concerned about that for top. That, and I think Creme's dead.
Yeah, he's been caught out. no way out of that Nature's Craft. Going to use the Fate Seal to stun up Gala for a little bit, but he's not going to be in any danger of going down. That's a kill onto the top esports mid laner as the Baron has once again spawned. Top know they need to do something,
Flash.
and JDG know it, so they're just biding their time and waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. In goes Xiaoxu, has a ton of damage and a ton of survivability with that Eclipse already. Does not issue that full forced engage, and so JDG just going to be able to walk on out, be happy with that one kill.
I think they have to pull the Baron now, see if they can bait NaiYou in. They didn't get too much off the re-engage. The Bramble Smash out, I was worried about because it kind of knocked people out of the equalizer from NaiYou. I think NaiYou still feels like he's the one pressured to try and find the flip, and there's no way he's going to be able to get in there with no flash, no ult.
So second Baron picked up here for JD Gaming, looking to get to match point in our first playoff series of Split 1 of the LPL season. Of course, winner will play against the winner of our next series, Anyone's Legends versus Team WE. That'll be happening right after this. You'll have Rafa and Jay Beto on the call for that. And JDG looking poised right now to put an end to this one in the next 3 minutes.
Would dodge out of the Soul potentially spawning on the map. I don't know if they have enough in the tank, though, to end the game. It's hard to end the game against a Sivir. And I think JDG has a lot of terrain to make up, so it looks like they're really trying to prep for this dragon. There has been a good ward snuck in by, I'm going to assume, Fengyue, given that it's a normal ward and no one else has those trinkets in their inventory. It's Fengyue. And he stuck one in right by that line brush that spawns what it's Ocean Soul. Yeah, you can see it right there in the top left corner of your screen. That could be a big ward later for top esports if they want to set up, even just break the push that JDG is setting up now. I don't think we're going to see any TP cast before Dragon's under a minute. That way the kills have consequences for that objective, but I would not be surprised if we see 369 make his way to that ward here pretty shortly.
Right now we have JDG pushing in 2 lanes at the same time. 369 opting to be on the opposite side of the map, take a tier 2 turret, get a little bit of gold, but he's going to have to get back to base quickly, otherwise the push will just continue. He's going to actually use his teleport before the tower falls, but JiaQi has already been targeted, has to flash away, and already has used his spell shield. 369 has arrived. Equalizer still not utilized just yet, and HongQ is being taken low. A really nice Rumble ulti could be the signal for top esports to go in. Creme will find the 80 carry and take him down, and this is a massive fight here for top. Second time's the charm. JDG with the Baron will lose another team fight.
And that's Ocean Soul down for JDG. Creme finds Gala in the backline. That was massive from him. A fight winner indeed. As JDG pushing to end there felt a bit, I think, head over their skates, falling forward. As top esports now get a soul for themselves. Again, it is Ocean Soul. This isn't the best role you can have, but I think after the inhibitor, I don't get going for more. I think it's a take the dragon or go mid angle, and again, it feels split. Xiaoxu's trying to take mid. JunJia's going in, and they set up for a nice equalizer there. After that term was already used, you had Gala burn flash to get out of the dredge line, still eats the fate sealed, and that seals the fate of a one-team fight for top esports and an Ocean Soul taken in the bottom left of your screen. So this game's not done yet.
And look at all the shutdowns that TS got as well. That was 1,100 gold into the hands of Creme. He's able to pick up that Infinity Edge now.
Yeah.
JiaQi gets on the board as well. That gold lead that was 5,000-6,000 here for JDG has already been quartered after the taking of that team fight and the Ocean Soul.
I mean, this is a melee-heavy game, so that means that there isn't as much poke in this game. You're playing into a Maokai with Ocean Soul. You're, especially with Sivir Wave Clear, your ability to cocoon and scale up now as top esports, it's very real. And if a clean team fight breaks out from JDG, Ocean Soul's not going to have a lot of ramifications on this game. But any time you might have a skirmish, can reset, get that health back, and that's going to have you set up for much better conditions looking at these objectives moving forward. That will be in favor of top esports, not JDG for the rest of this game. So again, something in top's favor.
I mean, we've already seen top utilize a strategy like that with Fengyue. He goes in initially, takes a bunch of damage, backs on out, waits for that aftershock to come back off cooldown, and has gone back in for multiple really solid re-engages on this pick. The Ocean Soul, along with the Bandle Pipes and the Mikhail, that's going to help him stay alive even longer and allow for even more rotations of those spells to come through onto crucial members of JDG.
No, I think that's a good shout. While we're talking items so far, Xiaoxu also making a unique choice, taking the Endless Hunger. It does give you some more tenacity, and of course the healing, the Omnivamp. We did see him trade one in the 1v5 scenario. So, you know, if he ends up in that 1v5 scenario again, that item's going to get a lot of mileage. It's Omnivamp.
Yeah, I mean, you see how long and extended these fights go. Having as much survivability as possible here for Xiaoxu. The Death's Dance as well to delay an eventual death. Try to get a takedown before that. That's going to provide some huge value. He's been very important to how this game has gone for JDG.
You know, Grapes, it just added up to me that Death's Dance as the name of the item kind of thematically fits in with dancing your death. I never put two and two together until today.
You know that they call it League of Legends because there's a lot of legends in the league that they play in too. That
No, I actually thought it was called League of Legends because it took place with champions and summoners on Runeterra.
Yeah, I could have come up with a better analogy for that.
No, I liked it. Anytime my co-caster gives me a little bit of grief, it gets me, you know. It puts me in a good headspace. Great.
Come on.
It puts me in a good headspace.
Both these teams got to be in a good headspace right now as they've got to lock in for potentially a final fight. This third Baron, two of them have gone JDG's way. Will Top be able to claim this one? Now that the gold is in a much more even position, you can see it deadlocked at 66.5. Equalizer utilized here. It was just a stolen one by HongQ to push this wave out, and now JDG are going to go because Gala has that caliber, and that's going to be very important.
He's green, white. White's great for taking Baron. Might want purple for these fights in control. They're going to try and melt it, though. NaiYou can get in.
We're already getting burned down. NaiYou steals the Baron. A tremendous takeaway here for the top esports jungler, and here comes the team fight. Xiaoxu goes forward, but JiaQi will spell shield the ultimate, and they're dropping like flies. A double kill in for the Sivir, and that's going to make it a third. Gala on the run. Vampire trying to delay the inevitable. Gala doing a lot of damage back onto Creme, but not nearly enough to take him down. 369 overheated, able to get a double kill, and that should do it. Off the back of NaiYou, top esports going to push to match point.
I mean, I think there's a real argument that you could have said JDG 3-0 this series, but it's 2-1. Top esports, they did a really nice job of turning this game around off of a Nexus fight that should not have been taken by JDG. Top esports has played a couple of these late game team fights very well, Grapes, and it's gotten them a lead in this series.
Doesn't matter how many Barons you take, whoever takes the last one, who ends up taking the Nexus. And that is exactly what Top Esports has done for the second time today.
It's a happy
NaiYou. They're one matchup away for that upper semifinals.
He was looking at 369 like, did you just see what I did with that Cube Bramble Smash, man? Do you like that steal? It was a good game for NaiYou. He kind of saved his way, or his performance in that game, because we were talking about him for the first 20 minutes of the game. And then it was two picks that Vampire was able to find off of NaiYou when his flash was down right as that Baron spawn that really created that first Baron take for JDG, that very positive scenario for JDG to start pushing and be up in the game. But then JDG, again, this is a comp that falls off. They do get outscaled by the Rumble, the Yone, and the Sivir. Like, that comp's better if the game does go late. You also gave away Ocean Soul, which helps make that comp even better when the game goes late. But I just think trying to force there, that wasn't necessary. You could have played for that Ocean Dragon, denying that, reset, and kind of keep the game in your control. That force was too much from JDG, and Top Esports made them eat it.
That was a difficult game to wrap your head around in full. It felt like it was close, then JDG was going to win, and then it came down to that one fight, and it's a similar situation to what happened in that game one, where JDG had a big lead. You know, that fight around the Top Esports base, they tried to overforce, and then eventually a teleport comes in. That should just be their signal to escape instead of, you know, trying to stick around and try to, you know, salvage some sort of fight. They end up all dropping. Top Esports get themselves back in the game, and with the Ocean Soul are able to outscale themselves to just another very impressive win for them.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if I want to use the word impressive in the Top Esports win. I feel like the JDG Game 2 win was impressive.
Two fights.
I think that there's a very good tweet to be made of 3 screenshots in this series and then being like tops 2-1 right now. Just take the 2 worst screenshots from JDG's game 1 and 3. Like, top is up 2-1.
Not able to seal the deal. JD Gaming just comes so close as we get another LPL gold graph at the bottom left of your screen here.
That's a special one.
Hey, top esports able to deliver in the moments that matter most. You know, we were saying Vampire for JDG, MVP potentially, but you got to give it to NaiYou, I think, at this point.
Look at the Maokai damage.
The jungle very, very well. Leading his team in damage percentage and kill participation on this pick.
Guys, why? There are some champions in League of Legends that we just choose to put away and forget about in the regular season, and then we magically remember that they come back in playoff time. Maokai is one of those champions. If I know that he got buffed up a little bit, but how could we be doing that damage number? Okay, this was actually the passage of play that I was talking about that created the really bad scenario for NaiYou because he had the flash out of this. So the next few plays that you see made by JDG and Vampire, the plays that I was talking about for Vampire being Pog, were kind of happened because of this play. So I know that Xiaoxu goes down. Oh, sorry, that's right. He gets saved again by the Dark Passage. But when we get out of this one, the pick that was found, yeah, I mean, this was it. But then they found another pick on a NaiYou before this that actually created this play. This was a really good sequence from Vampire. As, yeah, he kind of crapped on Maokai a couple times, really opened things up for JDG, which was too bad because the early game featured NaiYou's first clear. He got a kill, 2 crabs, and started Raptors and like killed the repeat respawn camps before he based, right? And that's like the dream clear if you're a jungler and you're on Maokai's. You can really push and punish this game. So he kind of threw it thanks to good plays by Vampire until then. But yeah, this one, really good ult by NaiYou. I just think JDG, after they take that inhibitor, I mean, hindsight definitely says I'm right, but that your point against Ocean Soul, it probably is take inhib. We don't go for the end. We deny the soul. That should be the right chain of events. Decision was not made by JDG, and it cost them a game.
And then this last fight here, also impressive stuff from NaiYou to steal away this Baron, able to get in there with the flash Q smite. I mean, you can't do a ton of mechanical stuff on Maokai. That's I guess one of them right there.
Hey, it's actually if you want to be mechanical on Maokai, it's actually Q flash smite.
Yes.
It's Q flash smite.
That
I think NaiYou hit him with that one. As again, good Maokai performance from NaiYou. I think we're definitely going to see this champion more in playoffs. One of the reasons we haven't seen a lot of AP champs right now is I don't think 80 pairings are good enough or very good. But Maokai is one where you can see I think with an AP game, because you can go Bloodletter second on the champion. It's not the best, but you could do it. And again, like this champion's kit, I've always been on the very much Maokai's OP train. You have an R that's like the width of my screen going at you for an engage. Your QWE as a kit is just insane, and then you scale ridiculously well because of how much value you get out of putting points into any of your points as Maokai, and then what your passive does if it goes late. And if you get Visage, I mean, this champion is very filthy OP if you get going. So, yeah, really good performance from NaiYou, who I think NaiYou's been the difference maker in the series so far. I mean, Creme did find Gala in the fight that ended up winning them the game later on. Yeah. He outplayed some nice ganks. I'm not against this Creme Pog. You know what? We'll give him the Pog. We'll give Creme the Pog. I actually think he kind of earned it.
Damage lead, kill participation lead, able to get top esports in a good spot. You know what? It's fine. Creme did have, just like in game 1 on the Azir, the game-deciding ultimate onto Gala. Yeah, that's
I can't believe there are no votes for NaiYou. I know a little bit more ball than that. That's all we're gonna say. We must have really valued killing Gala.
We're just watching the chess match unfold in the early game. I mean, from minute 1, NaiYou's in a good spot. Did allow for Creme to eventually take over, become that player of the game. But we'll see if NaiYou gets a little bit more love later, as Top Esports just one more game to win this series against JD Gaming, to move on to the upper semifinals and send JDG down to the losers bracket. Will we have silver scrapes, or will this series end in just 4 games? We'll find out in just a little bit once we return from this break here on LPL English.
We're getting to game 5.